Up top, it's Mariano Diaz, the Dominican Republic player, the first Dominican to score for Real Madrid in the first leg of this contest, and a few familiar names, the likes of James and Isco. Also get a look at the teenager, Martin Odegaard, Norwegian, getting his start wearing the number 26 shirt. Pepe will captain Real Madrid today, while Victor Diaz wears the captain's armband for La Cultural. Two captains meeting with the head official, Mario Merelo Lopez, for this one. I'm Andres Cordero, pleased to be joined by Ray Hudson. I'm glad that all of you could join us for this Copa Clash on beIN Sports. Here's a look at La Cultural starting 11 for the young manager Ruben de la Barrera, with Leandro in goal, a back four of Bastos, Cesar Garrido, and the captain Diaz. Giray and Cristobal make up the holding midfield. Ortiz, Villa, and Gallar, a three-man attacking midfield trio, and Benha, who did score a consolation goal in the first leg, lines up with the number 9 shirt at the point of the spear.
Well, let's just say it'll be interesting. We'll be seeing some of the young players, but for now, there's some moments of sad reverence.
Moment of silence for the recent tragedy in Medellin. The football world in mourning after Chapecoense's plane crashed en route to the Sudamericana final, where they were set to play against Atlético Nacional of Colombia. This is a Brazilian team, Ray, that had a meteoric rise to the top flight of Brazilian football, and we're going to play the biggest game of their lives. 71 lives claimed in the accident.
Yeah. Brazilian looking on there. Sadness all around the world, not just in sports, but we are all chapos now.
Well, underway at the Santiago Bernabeu, Real Madrid in the all-white today. Cultural Leonesa in their road pinks. And as mentioned, two teams that are unbeaten in their respective leagues. And you have to respect the difference between the two levels, as Cultural Leonesa play in the third tier of Spanish football, the Segunda B. It's a poor giveaway at the back and an early chance for Real Madrid. Point blank and finished brilliantly by Mariano. Seconds in, 23 seconds in, it's the 23-year-old Mariano who scores the first.
Terrible start. The ball takes a bobble right in front of Bastos, I believe. We'll take a look. As the ball's played out to him, it's not a bad ball, and he's got space and time. As the young coach sees his plans, whatever they were, look at the space and time, and there's the pop off of the line. When we look at it again, it comes off the 18-yard box line. Take a look at this again. It's popping in. Really, it's just a bad bounce right ahead of him. Wonderfully set up by Isco and beautifully sorted home from the Dominican Republic international, Mariano.
It's Marco Asensio, actually, who's squared that ball in across the grain.
Excuse me, Asensio, a lovely feed pass. And look at it again. At half-time, it's a sad sequence of bounces that came, but having said that, just clumsy control, wasn't it? And they were punished just a minute in.
Well, it took a little bit longer, 6 minutes, to get the opening goal in the first leg between these two. That was a 7-1 win for Real Madrid, and that 6-minute opener came courtesy of an own goal by Gianni, who is on the bench today. It took just 23 seconds to get the opener. Another mistake at the back. Casemiro, it's a ball wide to Odegaard, a 17-year-old. Casemiro again, this is Isco. Poor giveaway by Real Madrid, and back the other way is Benha. Help in the form of Giray. Good cross into the middle, and Benha just could not get there. Kiko Casilla gathers.
The unlucky cannot extend his telescopic right leg here. ball just takes a little bloop into him, and he was very close to making some contact. Kiko came out to try to close that angle, but that one could have found the back of the net.
Benha bumped in the back by Pepe, but enough to draw a whistle. Real Madrid back in possession. It's a back four for Real Madrid of Dani Carvajal, Pepe, Nacho, and the 20-year-old Álvaro Tejero, who mans the left flank today. In front of Kiko Casilla, Casemiro, Asensio, and Isco make up the midfield trio. James, Odegaard, and Mariano, the attacking three.
Well, despite that 7-1 hammering that they were...
Danger again to play the ball out of the back.
They did so beautifully, though, and it leads to this.
Diaz.
Despite that 7-1 hammering that they suffered in Lyon, Andres, this team sitting at the top of their respective group in the third division and playing some good football at their standard, dominating the league.
Cristobal. 8 points clear of Racing Santander. Another, not exactly a falling giant, but one of the big clubs at a time.
Sure.
In the Spanish top flight had some financial difficulties that saw them drop all the way back to the third tier.
There's that little touch off from Pepe, and it falls right into the path of Benha, ex-Barcelona B player. He's at Barcelona for a number of years. He would have loved to have rattled that one home ahead of the Clásico.
So moves it back to Nacho. He's been very consistent this season, Nacho, but a little bit of a stumble at Sporting Gijón, where he gave away a late penalty. Casemiro, making his first appearance since mid-September. He was injured 19 minutes into a game against Espanyol, hasn't been seen since. Here's Jorge Ortiz. Geray, poked away by Odegaard, who's putting in a good defensive shift in the early going. Asensio. Full head of steam for Marco Asensio. He's impeded by Victor Diaz.
Some beards to pick out over distance in this game. Asensio, Isco, Nacho, Carvajal have all got that similar look. Especially Asensio and Isco, both little bandy-legged type of gait. I'm surprised, to be honest, Andres, that Zinedine Zidane hasn't folded in a lot more of the Castilla players.
There's one, Tejero, plays it in for Isco in the middle.
Yeah.
A glance across his shoulder.
I mean, leading 7-1, I think this would have been a wonderful opportunity for the Madrid fans, who are getting some good, nice, low-priced tickets here today, to see some of the real young kids coming through. But Zidane's a boss. He has a gem of a little player. It has really attracted a lot of attention since he arrived at Real Madrid, the little blondie. See how he performs.
Isco. It's it wide for Tejero, his first foray into the attack.
Before Real Madrid brought Odegaard here, Andres, there was clubs from all around the world looking at him, all of the big clubs. And it was
especially
Real
the two
Madrid
that will meet on Saturday here on beIN Sports, Barcelona and Real Madrid. In fact, Odegaard met with both.
Right. And they were going to pay him a king's ransom, but evidently not quite as much of a king's ransom as Real Madrid paid him. But everybody sees this kid as something really, truly special. So let's see what he brings to the dance here tonight under the bright lights of the White House. Well, by all reports, he's been looking extremely sharp and good. Confident player, full of gale.
He's got plenty of touches in the early going. This is James.
See that little spin away with the ball, that control, beautiful delicacy and balance. Good tackle.
Well, so far it has been the defensive effort of Martin Odegaard has stood out. He struggled a little bit his first season in Castilla. It was a clause in his contract that he spent part of the week training with the first team as opposed to the Castilla side. That made it difficult for the manager. Then put him in on the weekend when didn't have quite the same rapport with the rest of the squad.
Now remember, he's still 17-year-old as well. There's no muscle on him yet. And by the time he starts filling out into his early 20s, we're seeing it now with Neymar, I believe. It's just that way a player just muscles out eventually. Look out.
Good tackle by James. On the swivel, looking for options.
In his head, beautiful vision. Look at
Here's Odegaard.
taking it all into account.
Carvajal. Back in toward Odegaard, dealt with the cleanest of clearances from Cesar. Ball out to touch.
Nice to see a blondie out there. See enough blonde players anymore.
Natural blondes or messy blondes?
Yeah, got to be natural.
There's Nacho.
This team likes their fancy strips as well. La Cultural, playing in beautiful flamingo pink, but it played in a football outfit. You have to see it to believe it, people. Go to your computers and take a look, because you will not believe it. The tuxedo outfit, they called it.
Very classy. This is Carvajal.
Nicely.
Odegaard stayed onside. By two players done well to find Carvajal. Chipped toward the 6. Mariano made the run, but it's dealt with well by La Cultural's defense.
Tackle.
No way forward
Just
for
take
Alex
a look
Gallardo.
at Odegaard's style. Very distinctive, beautiful arm movement about him. I know it sounds a little silly, but it's representative of I've always believed, a special touch type of player.
Silky.
Yeah, very distinctive style. They're all different.
Like Isco.
Yeah.
Just beyond Carvajal, but there was Odegaard.
Oh,
Ole.
lucky.
Touch and coming across to win it back like Cultural. Rolled back by Victor Diaz.
Beautiful nutmeg of Victor Diaz there by Martin.
Cristobal was the one who recovered for La Cultural. Now Pepe recovers for Real Madrid.
Solid goalkeeper, of course, Kiko Casilla. Talking before we went on air, what a good performance he put in when their first choice goalkeeper was missing in action with Costa Rican. He was filled in ably from the Spanish international Casilla.
Of course, Kiko Casilla was a first choice goalkeeper over at Espanyol before making his return to Chamartin.
And lovely teas and touches from Odegaard.
James.
Looks a bit
Good
like
through
me
ball
when
forward
I
from
used
James.
to play at Andres.
Just Tejedo's out in front, and sliding across was Ivan Garrido to deny him.
Here's another look. Bump, 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 bump. Coming at him like a roller coaster, and it just is not able to be reined in, and they take full advantage of it. Neat finish, though. It's his first touch. Lovely setup by Asensio. And guided home for a wonder start, just like he dreamed about before he went to bed last night.
2 goals in 2 cup matches now for Mariano. He scored in the 92nd minute, the 7th goal in the first leg between these two sides. He scored less than 30 seconds in today.
An old man compared to Odegaard. 23-year-old, Spanish born, and but he's played already for the Dominican Republic, hasn't he? Mariano Diaz.
Look at the benches. It's a young coach for Leonesa. He's just 31 years old, Rubén de la Barrera. And you see him again there on the touchline, animated in his gray coat.
So Pepe is older than the coach.
That's right. Cristobal. Give it away to Isco.
That was well read there from Casemiro.
James trying to curl it forward for Asensio. It's Mariano in support. Mariano into the 18. Looking for an opening.
Yep, wanted Odegaard.
James. Cross toward the back post. Diaz there to deal with it and chested down for Leandro.
Again, difficult to take your eyes off this Odegaard, given all of his big reputation at such a precocious age, but the availability in his movements and the way he's showing for this ball every time the Whites get it is impressive in itself.
See De La Barrera on your picture there just a moment ago. He made his managerial debut at age 21 with Atletico Artejo. And years later, he's 31 years old and managing in the third tier of Spanish football. Long sliding tackle to deny Tony Villa, but too strong for the referee's liking. Medelo Lopez.
Good pipe opener for Casemiro here ahead of the Clásico. See if Zidane will have the faith in him come the big match, but this is exactly what he needs, just to get the feel of the big bright lights again. And it doesn't come all automatically from the practice field to the big games. It's a good selection that way from Real Madrid's boss.
Resting so many of the players he will be counting on in the Clásico as it's away from the fullback Ángel Bastos. Of course, Gareth Bale will be missing out at the Bernabeu this weekend, but Cristiano Ronaldo, Benzema, both expected to play. Kroos, Modric, all being rested today, not on the active squad. Sergio Ramos, Marcelo. Well-deserved rest for a team that's been playing every 3 days for some time now. It's Carvajal.
This is a player I didn't think would make big risks tonight. It's Carvajal. But don't have that many options, do they?
Well, Danilo would have been the preferred option to play on the left. Tejeda, who's naturally a right back, would have played in Carvajal's spot, but Danilo had a minor injury complaint in training and he was scratched off the list, so he forced Zidane to make an adjustment he probably didn't want to make. Odegaard misconnected with Carvajal. Zinedine Zidane, 31 games across all competitions without a loss, a stretch that includes the Champions League final victory over Atletico Madrid. Taken down was Tony Villa by Casemiro. You mentioned it, Ray. It's a good chance to feel like a footballer again for Casemiro. He's been absent since September 18th against Espanyol, and better than to just throw him into a Clásico on Saturday. Get his legs under him today.
And the Leonesa players under him as well. That's the Casemiro we all know and love.
There, who brought balance to Real Madrid under Rafa Benitez when the team would fracture at the midpoint. It was Casemiro, who had been sent on loan to Porto, came back with all of that experience and made himself a regular starter for both Rafa Benitez and Zinedine Zidane. In by Gallard, dealt with by Asensio. It's Bastos. BNSports.com. Remember, you can stream live matches on BN Sports Connect. Stay up to date on Twitter, BN Sports USA. Good passage of play here for La Cultural. And Villa tried to squeeze it through. James. Bit of an audition today, perhaps, for James in terms of getting minutes, possibly off the bench in the Clásico.
Yeah. Always a game changer. And there's some star power out there coming into a game like this. It's 7-1 up. Players repeating. You're risking players like Casemiro and Carvajal, James, Isco.
Carvajal flying past his marker. Excellent touch in front of Diaz, lays it off for Asensio. The return pass for Carvajal. Mariano's got a second. He's offside. Well, he thought he had his second. The offside flag will deny him.
Let's hope it's a good offside flag, because this was a lovely flowing move by Real Madrid, embroidering their passes together. One-touch football is perfection, but it's denied correctly. Ow.
First offside of this match is Leandro. Let's go in Odegaard pressing. Headed down Casemiro. Carvajal rolls it back to Pepe. Picked up that 31st match without a defeat this past weekend against Sporting Gijón at El Molinón. It was probably a little tougher than Zinedine Zidane would have liked, but it's been the thing about this Real Madrid team that even with players missing, even in difficult games, they've managed to at least pick up points from every single game they've played in all competitions this season. Good ball for the fullback Tejero.
A wonderful setup for his pass by Odegaard. Wonderful skill in tight areas.
Excellent effort from Isco.
Casemiro looking sharp as well on the ball. Quick with his feet, quick with his decision making.
Looks to be a 4-1-4-1 today for Real Madrid, right?
Yep.
Mariano is the lone center forward. Casemiro is the lone defensive midfielder. And Asensio, Isco, Odegaard, and James all playing as midfielders. Odegaard. Pressed by Diaz. James. By De Carvajal. James. Isco. Casemiro. Well, 4-4-2 off the ball for Cultural Leonesa. As Tony Villa steps forward to help Benja.
Oh, beautiful.
James gets it wide. It's kind of a house, tracked it down. A missed touch from the Spaniard and out for a goal kick.
Tracks out. A little highlight of the film was this wonderful little touch here by Martin Odegaard. Please, the cameraman picked it out. Wonderful replay. Had already taken 2 or 3 pictures behind him in his cerebral camera and judged it. Nice audacious pass.
Shot down by Diaz.
Certainly more than just coffee house tricks. Showing up nicely here.
Mariano wins the ball back for Real Madrid.
Some pace, hasn't he?
All forward by Asensio for Isco, but defense on alert. Ivan Garrido gets back in time.
As if Asensio was passing it to himself.
Some similar characteristics between Asensio and Isco, and not just physical similarities.
Yeah, pigs out the same pod.
First corner kick for Real Madrid. Over toward the back post. Mariano rising to meet it. Nacho gets it down. Leandro caught in no man's land. The ball still in the 18. Finally cleared. Benja. Yeray. Mariano gets it into the middle. And a chance to exhale for La Cultural. 20 minutes gone at the Bernabeu. Mariano scored 23 seconds in. Make it 1-0. One back by Casemiro. Ooh! Put it forward, catching the goalkeeper off his line, but the shot is off the mark.
Why not?
Might have just been the early nerves in that giveaway, because they have settled into this game. Cultural with obviously now an 8-1 aggregate against them. Very little pressure.
Yeah.
And so just enjoy the moment at the Bernabeu.
We got a good amount of travelling fans here today as well that travelled from Lyon.
8 buses, right?
Yeah.
And some 1,000 fans over for this one.
I think that's them singing up there now, so they are having a good old time.
Pulled back dangerously, a bit short, but Villa can't get there ahead of Kiko Casilla. Odegaard. Isco. Well, there's English football on our channel today, Ray. EFL Cup action is Manchester United take on West Ham at 2:55 p.m. from Old Trafford.
Man United need to win. won't be easy. West Ham coming in with a good record when they play at Old Trafford. Should be a good game. I think Mourinho will be putting out a strong team for that match.
Odegaard. It's Carvajal alongside.
Good play.
Asensio. Oh, triangulation to find Carvajal. Crossing into the danger zone, and there's a second for Real Madrid. It's James arriving inside of the 6. It's Madrid 2. Cultural Leonesa 0.
Danny Carvajal will get the applause, and James will too. But take a look at this wonderful setup, I hope, from Martin Odegaard again. Very instrumental in this. A beautiful give and go. It's James that is the thunder at the end of an electrical attack after a beautiful ball. This is the end result. We'll take a look at half-time before the final pass into the box, because there's a lovely goal engineered. An absolute treasure of a pass. He's already got him picked out, and then the delivery to the ex-Envigado man is pixel perfect. I just love the way that Martin Odegaard set himself up to open up this La Cultural defense. The Colombian pounces, speaking right on time ahead of Manchester United game, where he is being heavily linked.
9-1 on the aggregate. Now here's Casemiro once more, the assist for the Brazilian. You can watch it again on our Facebook page, facebook.com/BNSportsUSA. All of the goals repeated on social media. There's Asensio. Only spotted Tejero. Now the 20-year-old. This is deflected toward the penalty spot. Ortiz. Pressure from Real Madrid as Cultural try to play it out of their own half on the ground.
Playing nicely, disciplined football as well, despite the 7-1 lead that they got into this game in the early goal. They're keeping their shape really nicely, and they're being expressive with it. When likes of Blondie gets on the ball, they really do open up with quick fire passing, and no response from Ruben de la Barrera's man.
Blame a bit too strong that time as the ball's out for Real Madrid throw-in. Cisco. Asensio. Carvajal. Casemiro. As he poked away, but a foul on Benha. Free kick to Real Madrid. First goal for James since that aforementioned Espanyol match in which Casemiro was injured. James started that contest. He scored before being subbed out just past the hour mark. The end of an 8-game goalless drought for club and country for James.
Yeah, that's missing in action is Jose Leon, the Real Madrid loanee to La Cultural, but he's fit enough to play. He's been given his release.
Real Madrid did communicate to La Cultural that they would not hold up that type of clause that would require them to pay a fee for him to play against the club, but it's only been there about a week now, Ray, so
yeah,
choosing not to use him today.
Sure. It was carrying a little bit of an injury as well.
Here's Tejero. Alex Gallardo comes across to try and win it back and draws the foul. Mariano as well to win it back. Mariano has options to either side. Has found James. Denied by Leandro.
Usually likes to curl these ones, as Odegaard wants this one back right there, and it's James that's fed. His first touch lifts the ball up in the air, unfortunately, because had that ball been settled better by James Rodriguez, guarantee you would have been trying that trademark text curler to that top corner. Just popped up on him.
This is a La Cultural side, Ray, that's won 14 of their last 16 games in all competitions. Only loss was that 7-1 defeat to Real Madrid in the first leg of this Copa del Rey round of 32.
Yeah, and before that they've been on a wonderful streak of form as well to really be trailblazers in their division.
They had won 9 straight in the Segunda B and Copa del Rey to reach this stage. They'd beaten Albacete in the previous stage. Brujo, the stage before that. Benhat, kind bounce for La Cultural. Foul whistled against Casemiro. After that 7-1 defeat, they did hold Racing Santander, the closest team to them on their table, to a 1-1 draw away from home. And since then, they'd won 5 in a row, including a 6-0 win against Palencia at home. So they'd sort of exercised the demons after losing 7-1 with a 6-0 win of their own in the Segunda B.
Of course, this is a club as well that was in dire financial straits. In fact, were completely busted up financially. And then the Qataris came calling and said, we'd like to invest in your team, and it's paying good dividends. So several Qatar players in this side of Leonesa.
One on the bench today, Abdullah. Aspire Academy. Keep your eye on the Aspire Academy going forward. There's Yedai crossed into the penalty spot, and Benja. The opportunity
would have been a wonderful goal again, engineered deep around the halfway line, draws the applause of the Madridistas, so good on them. Again, the end result is a nice, lovely invite to attack for Benhat, and it's not a bad header. Just needed to get that one on target, and that would have been bouncing past Kiko. But lovely approach play there by men in pink. Yeah, the Aspire Zone Foundation that owns the club, as you say, Andres, has been to the Aspire Foundation. Wonderful setup that they have in Qatar, producing some good footballers.
The Aspire Academy is all kinds of resources, and really is one to look out for in the future.
It really is, and the type of footballers. There's a good lad playing at Villarreal, Akram Afif, that we've had the pleasure of commentating on, and has a really decent quality, and Qatar getting some good results in the internationals of late as well. But that's the people that took up this club and really are producing some tremendous results.
Isco scrambling, Casemiro couldn't control, but he's committed the foul. Might have been on the receiving end of it. A yellow card for Casemiro on his return.
Some things never change, and that's just the way Zidane like it. Comes in as the ball's played and just lands, unfortunately, right on the player, and there's no intent there by the Brazilian at all. Just unfortunate. It's a little harsh by the referee. Yeah, where am I going to put my feet? Got to land somewhere.
Just over a half hour down. A couple of goals for Real Madrid.
That's a bad challenge as well, this one.
Asensio.
This one certainly is deserved of the card. And
it's Ivan Garrido who goes in the referee's book.
Even the terrible. It's a nasty jump and tackle.
Goals for James now in all competitions. He's joining Real Madrid. the second today after Mariano got his second goal in this cup competition.
Credit to Real Madrid as well on putting the
good ball for James.
Will it hold?
Yes, just
credit to Real Madrid for putting these tickets up on sale for this game as well. Full credit to Real Madrid as a footballing club. They dropped the prices of the tickets substantially, so allows it is a wonderful delivery for James to sink home. I want to see the passes leading up to the ball out to Carvajal.
Cheapest seat at the Bernabeu today, €10, right?
Can't beat it, can you? No?
And more than that at McDonald's.
Yeah. You should know that.
VIP ticket for €150 if you're so inclined.
Oh, Liverpool yesterday on a game that was on beIN Sports as well similarly reduced the prices of their tickets, and that was a good game against Leeds. This one was over before it started. Look out.
There's Odegaard. He's worth the price of admission. Odegaard passes defender. Odegaard looking for an option. Denied by Victor Diaz. Ball never left the field of play.
Beautiful. Beautiful from Blondie. Again, very tight confines and drips honey on the ball with every touch. Ghosts by the defender, seeing the dead ball line, and it didn't scare him. He tiptoed past the tulips. Beautiful.
All 10 Real Madrid field players are in the opposition half at the moment. Tune in with us on Saturday, starting at 9 a.m. The Clasico coverage begins as Barcelona play host to this Real Madrid side. Tejero.
Barcelona wish they were playing against this Real Madrid side. But come the Clasico, form usually goes well out of the window, and both these magisterial clubs find something from way deep in their history, and it'll be the same on Saturday morning.
Results aside, Ray, from the way that both teams have been playing, that will be an end-to-end kind of Clasico.
Yep. Devil take the hindmost.
Carvajal rolled back to Pepe. James bring a lot of ground, the Colombian. Tejero, a neat touch back to Nacho. Oh, long diagonal switch for Carvajal. If he can get there, and he can't.
Yeah, give him a thumbs up. Great attempt. Watch this. Abra, cadabra. Hocus pocus. Beautiful. Better look of Blondie. Looking. Neck like an owl. Eyes like a tiger. Nice play.
Goes for a handball, and it has been spotted by Medelo Lopez. 10 minutes to play in this opening half. Isco. Mariano. Had to do it all himself this time, Mariano. Getting it away, Victor Diaz. He was pulled back as he made the pass to a free kick for La Cultural. Alex Gallardo. Bastos. Cesar. Gallardo.
Nicely.
Cristobal, good ball forward for Alex Gallardo to the 18 and poked away by the fullback Tejero. Samito gets it wide toward Tejero. Not put a foot wrong yet, the 20-year-old, and there he is again, Tejero.
Pretty football from Madrid.
Here's Isco.
Gonna get prettier.
Odegaard. James. Isco. Isco fires! Just wide. From the standout of the last Madrid derby.
From way deep, again, embroidered football. At the other end of the pitch, it goes to wonderful little bandy-legged, bearded beauty who sends this just a few inches wide of its target. Unlucky. Great attitude, coming into a game like this as well. From all of the Real Madrid starters, James, Isco.
Cristobal.
Would have been the easiest thing to do, was just go through the motions, but this team in pink making them work a little bit as well, which is good.
Victor Diaz made the work, and nice. His pocket pick by Isco. Brilliant pass.
Look at this.
Cristobal. He's found Mariano.
Beautiful.
Mariano, good stutter step. Mariano!
Oh. Back post begging. Odegaard waiting, hungry like a vulture, but he fancies he can finish this one off. Isco lays. Beautiful little hesitation and swing and a miss.
A shake of his shoulders to shake off Ivan Garrido. Off here by Tony Villa. At the Zidane roulette, not the same result. Gaya. Benha. The hold up play, the big number 9. James. Excellent vision from the Colombian. Flick out Mariano. He's out in front of Garrido. Mariano in a foot race with Ivan Garrido. Odegaard arriving. He tried to do it himself. Leandro to deny.
It's a poor last touch. It's a wonderful run. Brilliantly found by James. Take a look at this. Touch right there, just lets him down because he sees Odegaard running square to him. That's where it gets away, and he cannot bring his left foot to wrap around it. But Zidane applauding the supporting run of the Norwegian 17-year-old kid again in full support of the Dominican Republic lad. Nice mix that. Dominican Republic and Norway.
Diaz denied by Carvajal. Isco gets it forward for Mariano, trying to take the scenic route around Garrido. Took a tumble. Isco. Isco against the world. Asensio in support. Garrido. Oh, challenge. Maybe used too much of the hands, Garrido. Not spotted or not interested was Mirelo Lopez. Nivia trying to get it wide to Alex Gallar. Had too much work yet, Kiko Casilla. Odegaard. Isco. Bypassing Asensio to find Tejero. Here's Asensio working against Gallar. Isco. Asensio. Impressed by the movement off the ball of the youngsters. Alvaro Tejero, Martin Odegaard, and Mariano. Pepe gets it forward for Asensio. Neat footwork. Odegaard even better. James wouldn't get there in time. Send ball forward for Mariano! And he made no mistake this time. It's framed in the top corner. It's 3 for Real Madrid.
This is a magnificent goal. This is top class, people. It's a beautiful run. It's identified by Danny. And then Mariano Diaz comes in and absolutely finishes with malicious intent. His first touch is beautiful. And then the trigger shot is just top class. Take a look. Look at the run. Right here, he's onside, hand up, and then the first touch on the run with pressure on him is absorbed. That is absolutely radiant finish. Watch this ball come in, how he magnetizes it down into control. He turns, swivels, pivots, and pummels and punishes the net. That's a cracking finish from the Dominican Republic lad.
Well, he's doubled his Copa del Rey scoring total in this contest. He'd previously scored the 1 in the first leg between these two, and then one for Badalona before joining Real Madrid Castilla in the Copa del Rey against Leonesa back in 2011.
I mean, I'm giving full credit as best I can to Dani Carvajal's pass. It was a good pass, but Andres, I think Benzema would struggle to finish that type of shot. I mean, that was magical. He had so little time to really adjust himself after that ball took itself onto his chest, but it was controlled off his chest and then into stride and then on the move. And I think it's Garrido that's virtually draped all over him, and he didn't care. It's an outstanding finish.
To the right to Alex Gallardo. You still can give credit to Carvajal, who's got a couple of assists. He assisted the James header, and now the Mariano goal as well.
Right, and I think that the James assist was absolutely wonderful. That set up the header, that one, but not that one. That was more of an invitation, you know, questioning the player. What can you do with this kid under these situations? And that was instinctive. Penalty box, predator finish. Sharp as vinegar, magic.
Says Villa. It's kind of a hollow round, a good recovery from the Spanish international. Even better to flick it off of Tony Villa. Another one
again,
of those.
Look at this again. He's right on. Garrido's right on top of him. It's not, and he gets away from him, and then he's forcing himself away from the target. It's an acute angle. He can't take a second touch because then the chance has gone begging. So he's just, everything in his body is generous. Look at the faces of these people. Those people know their football. They're looking in and going, "Wow, that was special."
Funny old bounce as well. It was just around the chest time, maybe a little bit lower.
Right.
He has to settle it, make up his mind in an instant.
Big time.
Here's Garrido. Gallardo. Put a lot of ground today himself, Gallardo. Cesar. Diaz. Good movement from Gallardo forward, but bypassing him altogether. The ball delivered to the back post. It's there for Gallardo. Alex Gallardo. A shot on target, but it was blocked. Follow-up effort. Oh! What a goal that is! As they pull one back. Cultural Leonesa. They did not have to wait until the second half this time for what could just be a consolation goal, but it's a brilliant strike.
Golazo, asso, asso. And they're the Madrid fans celebrating it. La Cultural Leonesa sees this one bullet the blue sky. Nothing less than a magisterial hit from Yaray. Wonderful. As it comes back to him, look at this. One touch and good night, Vienna. Kiko Casilla stretches his fingernails to get it, but it burns him off. All right, it's a gangster goal, but Yaray is Al Capone here. Rat-a-tat-tat. Beautiful bulleting hit. We are seeing some fabulous goals for a game that was all right, all said and done before the referee blew his whistle at a 7-1 scoreline down. But we have been entertained, gladiators, and thank you, Yaray.
4 goals in the opening half. It was Mariano with a brace, James in